Well, we've already taken a look at X-Men Mutant Wars for Game Boy Color. Let's now take a look at X-Men Mutant Academy, also for Game Boy Color. I know that this is the red-headed bastard stepchild of a PlayStation game by the same name, and that, logically, I would have played the PlayStation game first, but really, other than sharing a name and being a fighting game, these aren't even remotely the same. It'd be like saying that Mortal Kombat 4 for the PlayStation and Mortal Kombat 2 are related. Anyway, like Mutant Wars, Mutant Academy for PlayStation and Game Boy Color was also released as a tie-in with the movie.
Mankind was not evil, just uninformed.
Let's get started. X-Men Mutant Academy for the Game Boy Color was released in conjunction with its PlayStation counterpart and was developed by Crawfish Interactive. There are a few game modes here. In story mode, you fight all of your allies and enemies until you win the game. In versus mode, you can play versus a friend. However, this should never happen because a true friend would never let another friend purchase this game. In battle mode, you get to select 3 characters that you will fight with and 3 characters that the AI will fight with. Survival mode is like story mode, except that your life bar does not replenish all the way after each battle. Training mode is, well, training mode. In the character selection screen, there are 2 unlockable characters. The only problem I see here is that the game doesn't have a save feature, so even if I unlock the character, they're going to go away when I turn the power off. After you select your character, Professor X looks into the screen and you go off to a random place in the world to fight another X-Man. I guess maybe you're in the danger room? At first all I can do is punch and kick. There's a rageometer down below, but as far as I can tell, it doesn't do anything. I try both A and B, select and A or B, forward and A or B, but nothing changes. I'm still just punching away. I think. It's hard to tell with these sound effects. As compared to its PlayStation big brother, this game obviously doesn't have as good a graphics, and Game Boy Color just doesn't have as many buttons as the PlayStation, but I still would have thought that somewhere buried in the game there'd be some combos or some other moves to master. Just for the heck of it, I take a look at the demo screen, and it too looks like a big slap fest. Trial and error have failed me, so now it's time to use my resources. First I try training mode. When I enter training mode, I get no sort of advice, and my opponent just blankly looks on. Eventually I press select and the game shows me some moves, but damned if I can get any of them to work. Next up, I use the internet to see if I can find a PDF copy of the manual. I mean, the manual probably has some of the moves documented, or at least some sort of getting started chapter. Well, unless I want to buy a manual off of eBay or Amazon, there's no digital reproduction to be found. So I try walkthroughs. These days there are walkthroughs for everything. IGN's walkthrough literally tells you to just press A. They even have a visual representation of how to press A. Finally, GameFAQs comes through, though even their guide essentially just says to punch your way through the game. Anyway, I try a move. Down, forward plus BB. That's a pretty standard combo and pretty straightforward, except that it's not working! So for my first playthrough, I choose Wolverine and I take IGN and GameFAQs advice and punch my way through the game. Once I have beaten all of the X-Men, the Professor proclaims that I am the strongest X-Man and sends me out to beat Magneto. My problem here is that this is Magneto and this is Wolverine. Wolverine would come up to Magneto and be like, "Hey, Magneto, I'm gonna punch the crap out of you." And Magneto would be like, "Next." So now I fight Pyro, Mystique, Sabretooth, Toad, and finally Magneto. Oh man, I'm losing to Mystique. Time to unleash my secret weapon. Pushing A faster. And then we get the most confounding fight yet. Wolverine versus Phoenix? This makes no sense. I mean, first of all, this isn't even Dark Phoenix. This is regular old trying to find herself Phoenix, right? And secondly, Wolverine would be like, Jeannie, darling, it's Scott you love, but me you need. And lastly, I mean, this is Phoenix. She once took out an entire planet. How is Wolverine going to beat her by slapping her? Here's what should happen. Well, Wolverine does take her out. I am congratulated and told that if I enter a code at the title screen, I can play as this unlockable character. A code. The whole point of an unlockable character is that they're unlocked, right? Meaning the next time I start the game, Phoenix is in there as a selectable character that I can play with, not reliant on a code that I'm going to type in 6 times incorrectly. Hello? Battery backup? Anyway, Apocalypse is also a unlockable character, but I've played through this game a couple of times and I can't figure out where it actually tells you what the code is. The only way I figured out how to unlock him is to look it up online. What's up with Wolverine's face? Anyway, I've achieved victory using the cheap method of punching, but I would like to learn to play the game. So let's get back to training mode. There's got to be some variety in moves. Well, after more research, I learned that A and AA are different attacks. B and BB are different attacks. If you are near an opponent, you can throw that person by pressing toward them and A. I also figured out the Rageometer. All you do is press A plus B, but you cannot be pressing a direction at the same time. I don't get it. Wasn't there somebody at Activision who was like, hey, anybody here know why people like fighting games? It's about mastering moves and mastering combos. It's not about giving kids carpal tunnel of the thumb. As far as Crawfish Interactive goes, I mean, what do you expect from a company who gave you 3 Mary-Kate and Ashley Pocket games, as well as a host of other major game Pocket companion tie-ins? Anyways, I give this game a 2 out of 10, and only because I'm allowing for there to be a possibility of something worse, though that's really hard to imagine. Anyways, if you liked what you've seen here and you would like to see more, please comment down below and maybe even let me know what game you would like me to see do next.